Okay, this mortise is now too small because of shrinkage, so I've shaped this cookie to fit. When I turned the bowl wet a few months earlier, I made the mortise too small, and after the bowl shrank, the mortise was too small for the chuck. This was July 2022, a year ago, one of my early efforts at twice turning bowls. That's the way it's going to be. And now, the plan is, okay, I've got to back the tailstock up a little bit, give myself some room. Got this in here, right there, and cut a new mortise. And while I'm on here, might as well reshape the whole thing. Boy, does it need it. I don't think this is going to be thick enough to accommodate all the distortion. I mean, this is so high here, it droops like a wet towel. Low here, high here. See what happens by trying to make it flat first. I admire skilled turners who can turn out a bowl in 20 minutes and make a video 20 minutes long. This one took me 3 days. 850? This video is not 3 days long. Okay, what's not going to work here is a pad in here for some friction. That will do it. $800. It's still a long way from being round again. I should not be going downhill on this. The first draft of this video had no speed ups and it was well over an hour long. So I went back through it and speeded up what I could because life is short and there are more important things to do than watch long videos. Not all the way in there yet, on both sides. The outside of the bowl still has flat spots. The alder is dry and scraping is dusty, so I turned on my exhaust fan. After all that, the bowl is still not yet round again.
Well, there's more here.
Looking back on this a year later, it amazes me how timid I was and afraid to make deep cuts.
Still more.
At long last, it's ready for sanding.
So I'm just going to finish cutting this mortise here. And how to do that, don't know that I can.
It's a classic case of leap before you look.
I just have to glue that in there. Maybe so. I'll just cut right down to that. Hot glue it and make this a tenon.
Right there's an example of good short-term thinking where long-term thinking is what's needed.
Now if I hot glue it in place, should be good when I turn it around.
I was going to glue this in, use this for a tenon, but once the glue's on there, I can't use it for a tenon. So I will screw or glue I think, a larger piece of wood on here to mount to a faceplate. When all that's done, then I can just use the denatured alcohol trick to remove this whole thing. You will perhaps remember what I said a few moments ago about short-term thinking and long-term thinking.
This is high, this is low.
It took a lot of adjusting, readjusting, and readjusting to get the bowl to spin fairly concentrically.
I think I'm going to be able to do this on the plate.
After 20 minutes or so, I gave up on that idea and went back to a jam chuck.
I think this will give me a much better chance of getting this lined up.
More adjusting and readjusting.
Part of the problem is it's changed shape again. I think this one's going to be a failure. It's just too thin. There's not enough left to work with. But I'll see what I can do here.
Somewhere along in here, I discarded the idea of mounting this on a faceplate and decided to simply cut a tenon into that second piece of wood.
Slippage on the jam chuck burnished a circle in the bottom of the bowl.
First thing to do is come down on this.
I stand out of the plane of rotation while I speed it up just to make sure it's going to stay on there.
Feels better than it looks.
I'm using a 3/4 inch bowl gouge.
And sharp.
I don't have a lot of faith in the hot glue joint, so I'm taking very small bites.
I think I need a smaller tool, like the 1/2 inch. Can't get the handle in against my side. I don't have a locking chuck, so I can't really turn this in reverse. It'd be so nice to work over here, but I need to get a different chuck. This one will go with the old lathe when I sell it.
And then, when I sold the lathe, I discovered that this chuck does have a set screw for turning in reverse. Too late now. I moved the lathe out from the wall so I can work from the other side.
Now I can get over here and tuck this into my side. It's going to want to skate on me. I got to be careful. Yeah, I've got some to work from. $1,200. Haven't evened it out yet. think this is going to become a funnel. It needs to be straight. You see, it's not smooth right there. I've got to come in here just a little bit. It's right in the corner. Like that. Don't dare go any deeper.
It was dumb luck. I can't claim planning, but my small, rounded scraper exactly fit the radius at the turn of the bottom of the bowl. I could have rested the fingers of my left hand on the outside of the bowl and reduced that chatter, but I didn't know that then.
Okay, we're okay in there, but I got to come off just a little more right here. And a little more on the sides. So just right here. Gently, boy. Now a little bit here. Try a little more. Okay, almost. Gotta get some air through here. Yeah, that's got that. Now we're back to the outside again.
This short project took over 3 days, and during that time, the bowl changed shape, even though it was reasonably dry before the second turning. So I have to do the outside again to make it round. I moved the camera and the lights and got the camera angle all wrong. But in this view, between the gouge and the bowl, you can see what looks like shadow. That's the difference between the outer diameter and the inner diameter. I have to keep cutting until that disappears and hope the whole bowl doesn't disappear with it. The outside of the bowl is still not smooth and round.
We're approaching a 1/16 of an inch here.
I stopped to sharpen the gouge for what would be, one way or another, the final cut.
Okay, we're around all the way to here.
The top half of the bowl is finally round. There isn't room to do push cuts uphill.
I wonder if I can scrape and get away with it. Only good to hear.
Now the tenon is in my way.
Let's go left-handed here.
Although I am not at all ambidextrous in most things, I don't seem to have any trouble turning left-handed. The only way I could think of to get in there to smooth the bottom of the bowl was with a carbide detail gouge.
Detailed. Getting into the hot glue and melting it. Oh, that's as far as I can go, but I gotta clean it up.
The bottom is substantially thicker than the sides. At the time, I was under the impression that the sides and the bottom had to be the same. No, they don't. You can make them any way you want, as long as it looks good and feels good. Finally, at long last, it's time for sanding.
Not perfect, but it's too thin to work with anymore. At least for someone of my skill level. Denatured alcohol. No more noise. I didn't think this bowl was going to survive, being so far out of shape and being so thin after the first turning. Learn now, leave them thicker. Let that dry.
Then I applied a water-based sanding sealer.
Let that dry, go wash the brush out, got things to do this afternoon. Maybe you can get back to this evening. Okay, I touched it up with 400 grit sandpaper. It's pretty thin. Not as thin as I thought at first. Well, I gave it the axe treatment. Very nice finish. There is tool mark. A 3/16 down from the rim, almost all the way around, but I was afraid to take that out because at that point, exactly 1/8 of an inch. I know you can go thinner than that. I'm not sure I can. So now I have to get this off of there, and that's a job for denatured alcohol. Don't know what that does to the axe finish. Or, you know, I could take it off. I might be able to take this down with a gouge. A detail gouge of some sort. Not very fast though.
I went back to the same carbide detail gouge I used to clean up the bottom earlier. Too bad I didn't think to move the light.
Tenacious stuff. The tool heats that up quite a bit and it helps it come off. So now what? I think I'm just going to cut this off with a knife and then sand it. This, I wonder if this is worth saving for something. No.
A sharp chisel made quick work of removing the hot glue.
Take the sharp edge off of this recess. Make it look a little better. I don't know what the cause of this discoloration is. It looks like metal stain though. From the chuck perhaps. Right now I'll get the round sander and get this smoothed out. Start at 120, just as I did the rest of the bowl. I'm going to call that good. I'll simply wax it. I'm not going to hand rub abrasive paste into this. The application's easy. The buffing, not so much. I'll take it over to the buffing wheel and see what I can do. It's not as glossy smooth as the rest of it, but it is, after all, the bottom of the bowl. Just a little bit of wiping with a clean paper towel. Eliminate the fingerprints. One of the things I like best about this bowl is it's not cracked. A little torn grain in it, you can see when the light's right, but all in all, not too shabby. Getting better all the time.
I think I'm starting to get the hang of this. Thanks for watching.